It's a pillow. It's a pet. It's a pillow pet. Hey there, this is your pal Pallie, and welcome back to Overrated. This is episode number 30. Woo! 30 episodes. Lots of time passed. Yay! I'm still here doing episodes. Kind of late on this one, just had some tiredness, blah blah, baseball, yeah. That's my life lately. But I have a couple exciting announcement type things, and then today's episode is basically just going to be me hitting some highlights of the beta alpha for Warlords of Draenor. And yeah, let's do this. So first off, I'd like to announce that I'm actually joining another sort of media group, so to speak. It's the Catalyst Gaming Media Group, and they do the world of podcasts. They have a lot of different podcasts like the Sundering and Monk Meditation, all this other kind of stuff. And yeah, just a great bunch of people. I'm just sort of hooking up with them, not necessarily like my channel's not going to be changing or any of that kind of stuff, just sort of hooking up with them creatively, and maybe I'll have some guests on from there, or I'll go on their kind of shows and just whatever. So, cool stuff there. Check them out. I do have a page on there, which I'll link below, that just highlights my shows and such. Well, so yeah, happy to be on board there, and good stuff to come. Secondly, TankSpot is certainly doing a lot of interesting stuff lately, now that we're all on the beta and alpha and whatnot. So first off, there was some streaming that happened in the last few days. I know Agathon's been doing a bunch. I have as well. And as well, WoD from TankSpot is actually putting together some quick 1-minute guides to classes and stuff. So check out the TankSpot forums for those. So there's some warrior ones there. I put together a hunter one, which I actually need to go back and edit some things that I got wrong and fix it all up and get it under a minute, all that kind of stuff. But anywho, lots of cool stuff coming there, and there'll be more guides and more things coming out from TankSpot. So check that out, and certainly try to follow TankSpot's Twitter, because we've been retweeting out what everyone's doing, and getting a lot more action there. So follow TankSpot, and of course you can follow me at GetARaid. So, anywho, speaking of guides and whatnot, one of the fun things that happened this weekend, on Saturday in fact, was that myself, Agathon, Fetsy, WoD, and Tang, went into dungeon Bloodmaw Slags and actually downed it, and we'll have a guide coming out soonish with some of our footage and actually some of the chatter beforehand. It took us a while to get there, so actually probably my Warlords Alpha Pallie Adventure episode number 10 is going to be the hilarious chatter between all 5 of us, just trying to get there and servers crashing, and just it was a blast. It was the freaking blast doing that, and the alpha was failing on us, but we were all just having a good time. So check that episode to come soon as well. And then, of course, the guide once I get footage together and quick guide up. So, yay, good stuff there. And obviously, announcement-wise, people should know at this point, but the Warlords of Alpha Beta is actually officially out. There were a lot of invites that went out to veteran players and people who've been playing a while, and then other random people that they needed to see if it ran well on their machine, blah, blah, blah. Anywho, Blizzard put it out there, first wave, etc., etc. But there are, if you didn't get an invite, sorry, but there are actually a lot of places that are giving away beta keys. So I know even the Catalyst Gaming people are giving away a key, I believe. There's some details to come there, I think. But I know Wowhead is giving away 2,000 keys or something. So check out that stuff. And, there's just other people giving out keys. So there were plenty of chances out there. No, unfortunately, I don't have any to give away from myself or from TankSpot or from any other people that I know. But yeah, lots of places to try to get in. And, of course, I'm sure there will be other waves of beta invites as they get more dungeons and more zones and everything else rolled out. So yeah, exciting times in many different ways. So yeah. So basically for the rest of this episode, after all those fun announcements and happiness, let's keep building on it, and let's actually go into the beta itself and check out sort of a few highlights that I would like to put out there, just as like, hey, if you haven't seen the gameplay footage, if you haven't watched any streams, here's some quick cool stuff to check out. So let's go into the beta. Alright, so here we are, and the first thing to highlight is that we have a Garrison. So the Garrison, as I mentioned before in my initial impressions, actually is a fairly big piece of the questing environment, as I said. And here is sort of the level 1 Garrison. They redesigned it actually since the last time I talked about it. But yeah, here you are. You certainly have some buildings, like here's my barracks. The barracks actually allows you to do a call to arms, which if you're in this zone and you're in trouble, you can just be like, oh no, here's my Garrison, and they'll shoot stuff and kill stuff for you, and yay. It's really actually pretty nice. I like using it because it will clear out stuff for you pretty well. So anywho, that's a bonus of the barracks. I don't have any other buildings yet on this character. They did a wipe of characters after Alpha was done. But anywho, you can see other plots of land, like this is a plot where you can put a small building. But yeah, here's sort of the map of your garrison currently. It may expand out further. I'm not sure how they're going to do that, but anywho, it could go further to allow further plots of land and all that other kind of stuff. So yeah, I haven't gone further in the quest chain yet in Frostfire, but we'll see what they've got. Anywho, this is sort of the interfaces into your garrisons. First being the architect table, where you sort of design your garrison and put the buildings down. And one really neat thing to highlight is that there's a nice little help system that gives you sort of pane by pane window pane, not actual physical pane, what actually each piece of the interface is. So this is saying drag and drop your stuff over here. This is saying what it's, what the info is, etc., etc. So really nice little help system that's in a couple different places in Garrison. So yay, good stuff. Yeah, again, here's all the buildings and whatnot, and you can see some of that stuff. Again, there's not too much in the garrisons yet, but more to come and more for them to build on. So that's the buildings themselves. The actual command table over here is where you have your followers. Yay, it's beta, Lua era. And it shows you sort of what happened or what you can do for your missions and whatnot. Here's your followers that you currently have. Here's followers that you could gain. Again, sort of like the pet type interface. And yeah, this interface as well has a lot of stuff to tell you how things are going on. So again, just a quick overview of that. Doesn't look like it's operating too well at the moment. This one should actually be complete, but whatever. Anywho, beta. So yeah, that's a Garrison so far. Now let's talk a little about Hunter specs. So I have messed around in both survival and beast mastery. So as you can see, I have survival, black arrow for arcane shot, explosive shot, etc., etc. I do have a missing button here, which I haven't been able to get used to. If you've watched some of the gameplay footage, I just have not been able to get used to not having Serpent Sting here. In case you don't know, it actually is baked into arcane shot. So let me shoot an arcane shot here. It now has the Serpent Sting dot on it. Yay! So that's how that is occurring. But for the most part, it really feels like survival as it is currently. So there's lock and load procs, etc., etc. Pump Cobra shots in to get focus back. I have Thrill of the Hunt as a talent right now, so I'm getting those procs. But yeah, just pretty much like live in that sense. Just no Serpent Sting. One other cool thing that I would like to show is the explosive trap graphic here. So check this out. This has been updated very nicely. Boom! And yes, I say boom just about every time that I'm doing this. As you can see, there's a dot ticking on both of these targets. It's sort of an AoE thing. It's not a very strong dot. I don't know if explosive trap is going to be something that you're just going to only do AoE wise, just to add some more stuff to both of the targets, but you know, whatever. That's survival for the most part. And of course, survival doesn't really have any cooldowns built in. You can see I do have Stampede here, but that is because I talented into it. Some of the other talents, let me pull that back up. Nothing really has changed since sort of some of the last previews that we've done. Certainly, exotic munitions is a level 100 talent that I haven't gotten to try out yet. But this is like sort of like coating your arrows in this particular ammo, and it does different stuff. So yeah, frozen arrow slows, and poison ammo is poison, blah blah blah. Anyway, we'll see what, you know, the best ammo is going to be to use eventually, but you know, just an interesting option that they put in there as opposed to what was there before. So yay, cool stuff. Again, I haven't been able to get on there's a PvP level 100 server you can get to so that you can mess around with that kind of stuff. I haven't actually been able to get on that server, so haven't been able to try that out yet. But anywho, that's survival. So let's quickly go over to Beast Mastery, and you can see how that rolls. Again, Serpent Sting is gone as a button, so you can see I have quite a few less buttons going on here. And that's kind of I don't know, at this point it's not feeling that great. It's just feeling like there really aren't any buttons to push, which is why I even have like a cooldown, Bestial Wrath, and Focus Fire sort of sitting on my bars, because there's really not much else that I can put on there. We do have Kill Shot for both Beast Mastery and Marksmanship, so that's, you know, something to note, of course. And we'll see, you know, if this is how it rolls, but, you know, here's just some quick Beast Mastery play, just for your enjoyment, I suppose, or non-enjoyment, I don't know. I don't know if you're enjoying it, but, yeah, you know, everything's about the pet. Certainly, the pet is doing the most amount of damage. Apparently, it's fairly bugged at the moment. Pets are not doing as much damage as they should be. So I don't know, we'll see. But you can see sort of the numbers that I'm getting out of a. Let's wait for a kill command here. Here's a kill command, a crit for 4K. And again, remember that we're talking about gear here, where I'm scaled to about 503 as an item level. Obviously, if you roll into Warlord's Draenor at, you know, 560, 580, something like that, you're going to be doing more damage than this. It seems like the item level that they're shooting for is probably around, once you get to level 100, maybe 650 or so. The PvP gear on the level 100 server is 660. So we'll see. We'll see how that all pans out and looks. But anywho, this is, you know, level 500 gear at the moment, and you can see how the item squish is there. On a item 5 and level 500 thing, I only get 37 agility. So, yep, there you go. And then lastly, I would like to talk briefly about the Blood Maw Slag Mine dungeon. So I got to run this dungeon with the Tank Spot people. Had a blast. Agathon was actually cheating. No, he's not cheating. He actually was able to get his character copied over, so he had, you know, 580 gear level or something like that. And so he was really doing a lot of damage and probably carrying us through the dungeon. But it was pretty interesting. You know, I lagged up quite a bit because the servers, just everyone's in on beta and everyone doing stuff at the same time. But I thought I would like to point out a couple things about the dungeon journal itself. Again, there'll be a guide, a full guide that says here's what all the bosses are, etc., etc. But what I'd like to point out about the dungeon journal is that when you get into it, there are now 4 tabs over here. This first one that's sort of there by default is an overview. It gives you sort of quick 2 or 3 things, depending on your role, of what to watch out for. So right here, if you're a damage dealer on this boss, Well, this guy's alive. Defeat elementals. Okay, cool. Interrupt a firestorm to prevent damage to your group. Okay, so watch out for that. And then while the boss is alive, kill the elementals to avoid being overwhelmed. So it's like, kill ads, interrupt this thing, kill ads, and kill boss, presumably. So yeah, you know, that's just sort of a quick roll. So if you're a healer, you would get, hey, dispel this dancing flame things or withering flames to prevent them from spreading. Okay. If Firestorm gets off, it's going to do a lot of damage to everyone, so be ready for that. And that's all for healers, just two things. Just watch for these two things. And then finally tanks, hey, these two abilities, they do a bunch of damage and they stun you, so be careful of that. And it tells you that the molten elementals, the ads that are coming out, are immobile and cannot be tanked. So it's saying, don't worry about them. Just let DPS kill them or whatever, and tank the boss and don't get stunned. So it's just like really quick overview of what you need to do on a boss fight. So here's another one. Interrupt this thing, kill these ads, the minor things that come out. Cool. Done. That's all it is. And this is really, really nice. I mean, I know some of this stuff is like, again, going back to that one of my earlier episodes a few weeks ago about community and all that kind of stuff. I know you're going to look at this, you know, many people are going to look at this and go, well, duh, okay, if something can be interrupted, I'm going to try to interrupt it. But really, does everyone know this? No, probably not. And certainly DBM, once it gets out there, is going to tell people, hey, interrupt this thing. But even if they don't have, not everyone has DBM. So again, think about just someone who's just trying to level up and they're just going through a dungeon. If they just look at the dungeon journal real quick and go, oh, okay, watch for ferocious Yeti yell, whatever. Okay, cool. And kill ads that come in. Okay, all right. Boom, they are ready to help your group down this. And that's just so much better than people going, hey, what do I do on this, boss? You can be like, look at the overview on the thing, or you can type the overview on the thing to them and say, do this, off we go. Boom, done. So really, really like this piece, and that's why I really wanted to highlight it. The dungeon overall, again, they've got to tune things, they got to do stuff. We had Agathon, who was over-geared for the dungeon, so I can't remark on how awesome it was. It was certainly a neat environment. You'll get to see the footage and the guide and all that other kind of stuff. But yeah, just the dungeon general itself is a big upgrade in my mind to help just everyone get up to speed on what they need to do. So GG, really like it. I really like the dungeon so far. I've done the other dungeon, the one that's in the Alliance starting zone. I tried it a couple of times when it was out first, but the ad itself that came out that sort of healed the boss was just ridiculously hard to stun and slow. Actually, you couldn't stun it, and it had so much health that it was just, the fight was sort of impossible if you had like a really tight-knit group that lusted and you could get through it. But I'm pretty sure I know that they've nerfed that at this point so that you can get through it. The ad is stunnable, I think, and blah blah blah. So anyway, that's called Shadow Moon Burial Grounds. Again, once I get through this one, we'll have a guide, blah blah blah, all that fun stuff. This one looked pretty neat, and there was some dangerous trash so far, so I kind of liked how that one was heading. People were like, wow, I really hope the dungeons are like that, so that there's some dangerous trash, some stuff you need to interrupt and chain, and and some CC here and there. It's not like Cataclysm dungeons where it was like, if you don't execute it right, you are going to wipe for hours. But so far, again, this is normal dungeons, but so far I was feeling like, oh yeah, a random group could get through this just with some few instructions and a little bit of knowledge. Okay, cool. So yeah, anywho, that's the dungeons so far. Again, guides to come, highlights to come, etc., etc. But I did want to touch on those few things that again, people, if you haven't been watching gameplay footage or streams or whatever, check that stuff out. Good stuff, all that other kind of jazz. So that'll sort of wrap it up for this episode of Overrated. Again, we talked about some announcements, Catalyst Gaming, bunch of stuff going on at TankSpot. Follow Twitters, blah blah, streaming, lots of stuff going on. Highlights of the Warlords of Draenor beta now, and everyone's getting beta invites. Okay, not everyone, I'm sorry. But beta invites are out there, more people are hammering on the servers, more people are doing kind of stuff, cool stuff, yay. All fun and happy stuff. Again, sorry for the lateness of this episode, just sort of got a bit tired, behind on things, and now I'm sort of catching up. I was like so close to having everything put together and no footage, you know, in my backlog, so to speak, and now I've got so much to do that it's like overwhelming. And anywho, I'm pumping it out. I'm getting stuff out there for you guys as quickly as I can. Having a lot of fun. Loving all the new subscribers and followers on Twitch and all that other fun jazz. And I still even have Heroic Garrosh to do on live. So that'll be Wednesday and Thursday. Should be there Thursday. Yeah, anywho. Lots of fun stuff. So follow me on Twitch. Look at TankSpot. And look at GetterRaid for Twitter stuff and updates. And woo! Lots of stuff going on. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it. Leave comments and likes and all that other fun jazz as usual. But this is your pal Pallie signing off. Overrated number 30, talking about some many cool announcements and some highlights of the Warlords of Draenor beta so far. So, yay! Thanks all for watching. Have a good one.